I need to emotionally prepare.
Unique New York. New York.
Emotionally prepared.
I want a proper cup of coffee made in a proper cup of coffee pot. I may be off my top, but I want a cup of coffee in a proper coffee pot. Iron coffee pots, 10 coffee pots.
Okay, I'm ready.
We good?
Welcome back.
It is so good to be back.
We're a couple guys reading.
Yes, that's who we are.
We're a couple guys reading. We're a couple guys who haven't been reading.
But now we are.
Now we've read. We're a couple guys half read. We are halfway through Heir of Fire, book 3.
I had to really think about what the actual title of this book was.
Well, as we learned from Crown of Midnight, title isn't that important. I do hope there is an Heir of Fire in this book.
I think that, well, considering like her powers, I think so. Right?
We'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see. I am Sam. That guy over there is Tex.
That's me.
We read books and talk about them. Premise of the show is we read books that your wife has probably read. But lately, we've been talking ourselves into, we also have a thing called palate cleansers, which you may have listened to our episode on East of Eden recently.
Classic book.
I kind of miss the Trasks. I don't miss Kathy.
Kathy's the worst. She's the worst, most evil person in any book.
Is Kathy worse than Man in Blackbeak? This is a comparison that has never been made before. No one has ever compared those two characters.
This is the only
This is the new content.
This is the only podcast that's comparing East of Eden and the third book in a YA romantasy trilogy.
Is this
not trilogy? Huh?
Would you call this YA?
When I had my bookstore and I was like going through the books, putting them on the shelves, this was classified by the wholesaler as a YA book.
I checked mine out from the library, and it's in the teen section.
I think that's YA.
I feel like it's pretty fair.
Pretty much call
Anyways,
that YA.
you were saying.
What was I saying?
I think you were going to give us a dramatic recap.
In the wake of harrowing events at the Glass Castle, Celaena Sardothian has been cast adrift.
Immaculate pronunciation.
Thank you.
A blade dulled by grief and burdened by unspoken oaths. Sent to the distant land of Windland under the pretense of an assassination mission, which she will immediately abandon and not even try.
And end up spaced out on the roof of a building drinking port wine.
Port wine. She instead seeks solace in its mist-laden hills, her spirit fracturing beneath the weight of Nehemiah's death.
Oh, yeah.
We cannot forget about her.
How could we?
And Sam, her own shrouded past. Yet, faith, ever merciless, does not permit her to wither. Nay, the immortal warrior, Rowan Whitethorn. I did not know that was his last name.
That might not be. This was ChatGPT.
Well, Rowan is sent to retrieve her, binding her to the iron will of Queen Maeve, the enigmatic ruler of the Fae. To earn her answers, Celaena must first endure the fires of training, unlocking the slumbering might of her Fae heritage. But to harness such power is to confront the abyss of her own torment, to tread the path of both fire and sorrow.
Oh.
But wait, Sam, there's more. A whole other paragraph.
There's more characters.
Beyond Wendland's shores, dark tides rise. In Hrithhold, Prince Dorian grapples with the awakening of his own forbidden magic.
His wall-punching magic, yes.
He punches walls. His every breath shadowed by the king's merciless dominion. I almost said Chaol. Chaol Westfall. Chaol! torn between loyalty and conscience, forges an uneasy alliance with the rebel Adion Ashriver.
Wait, stop right there.
Yeah,
You're telling me that Chaol is torn and brooding?
that's
You are lying through your teeth. You are growling lies.
that's basically the truth.
I snarled.
Did you read the prior 2 books, sir? Anyways.
Did you read the prior 2 books, sir?
Sir,
Why did
I implore you to reread the past 2 books.
I'm sorry, hold on. Your voice is very fantasy, but then that one came, it was like, I'm a Victorian, sir. Did you read the prior 2 books?
What was that line from Gandalf where he's like,
A wizard is never late nor early. He arrives precisely when he means to.
Bilbo Baggins. Thank you for this.
I'm not trying to rob you.
Trying to help you. Thank you for letting me do my Gandalf again.
that was such a good Gandalf. You have a great Gandalf.
But here's the thing. I can only say Bilbo Baggins. That's all I can say in my Gandalf voice.
Is Ian McKellen in this room?
Anyways. Meanwhile, in the frost-rimmed mountains of Morath,
Oh, here she comes.
a new and terrible force gathers.
Kathy! Trask is opening a...
No. This is not Avengers. We're not all assembling books.
It's a universe crossover between East of Eden and...
We've all been waiting for that Steinbeck Maas mashup.
That's right. Somewhere in Wendland, Sam Hamilton is working a field that's never going to yield a crop.
Our only Romantasy fans are going to be like, what are they talking about? Who is Sam Hamilton?
Well, they should have listened to our other episodes.
They should have. I hope they did.
Man in Blackbeak and her coven of ruthless iron teeth witches prepare to claim their wyverns, forging monstrous steeds in service of the king's growing might. As war drums echo across the land, destinies entwine, and Celaena, whether she wills it or not, must rise, not as an assassin, but as the heir of fire herself.
Okay, she must be the heir.
The Heir of Fire.
Of fire.
Of Fire. Book 3.
Okay.
Technically book 4.
I want to get down to business here.
Okay.
Which I mean, we read this book because no one's getting down to business, and I appreciate that with chili peppers.
That's good for us. We like that.
Our purred count, using purred as a verb to describe how someone spoke.
Yeah.
Do you want to guess how many we hit in the first 35 chapters?
I'm gonna guess 7.
According to Price is Right rules, you're great. It was 8. We had purred 8 times. I want to say 6 of them were in a scene
That
with
is
80 on.
more times than we needed.
It was. They're all like in like spatters. Like she'll say purred 3 times in 2 pages.
Yes, and they're all misused.
As if like what am I trying to say here? It was like when Rye Smile in Fourth Wing.
Yes.
You could tell where the editor was like, we got to cut down on the purred. So it almost like was like a scatter gun they just went through. We're going to slash purred from chapter 7 through 16.
Yeah.
We'll give you 3 more purrs.
Yeah.
And she's like, I used them all up. I got to, So.
Yeah, she initially had like 37 purrs, and then they like kind of missed the ones. But she's like, she's fighting for purrs.
She's fighting for her purrs.
I've got to have purred in there.
I think she negotiated in her 4th book contract how many purrs she could use.
Yeah. Yes. That's in the contract.
Yeah, that's public.
Yeah,
the
that's
contract
public.
says that she can say purred 9 times in book 4.
Oh, okay. Well, that makes
sense. She gets
sense.
paid $20,000 per purr.
Okay. Well, that's
that's what's
good for
lost
her.
in all this. Is
that's
like,
what I would do.
Any criticisms we have of this book, Sarah J. Maas is like,
She's like, okay.
I made $3 billion off of that one alone.
And who is reading your Substack?
That was way too personal.
The joke.
My Substack will be in the show notes. Please help me out.
Hey,
anyways,
me too. I haven't done anything in a while, but
you're coming back. You're coming back.
Yeah,
surely.
surely.
You're gonna start winging it again.
I know. We'll wing it again.
Yeah, so many, and she uses it like Rowan is like in the middle of a battle, and it's like he purred. Who's purring in the middle of a battle? That's not when lions purr.
Right.
Cats purr. Humans
Oh,
purr.
no, lions when they're about to fight other lions. It's like,
They're like,
you're watching like David Attenborough, and he's like, the lions are on the plains of the Serengeti. They face up, and they purr at each other. Now they're ready to go into combat. I haven't watched that.
That was
pretty close?
that was a good Attenborough. There he is, the king of the jungle. He arrives at Pride Rock and he stands to survey his kingdom. And then he loudly purrs.
Rafiki's like, you haven't purred yet as king. Okay, Heir of Fire. We're halfway through chapters 1 through 35. We'll do our fantasy check-in at the end. Our fantasy game. What did you like?
I think this is going to be controversial for you. I liked the witch stuff.
I did too.
Yeah. Okay.
It was the
good
most
on the same
compelling. I don't like her.
Yeah, she's, I guess, bad.
But the thing is, like, my one criticism at first was that she, like, one, her voice isn't that different from like Celaena's in the book.
Yeah, they're kind of interchangeable.
And I didn't know if I'm supposed to be sympathizing with this awful character.
Yeah.
And I almost like, what's what I'm looking for? Like, I almost felt like she enjoyed the evil too much. She's describing like killing the villagers and stuff.
Yeah, she's
that
like,
I mean, I get why that character would do that, but the way it was written is like, am I supposed to be enjoying it? Like, I don't think.
Yeah.
But it was also, I found myself when a chapter would start with like, those yellow legs were at it again. And I was like, yes, we're back.
Yeah, I like it. I like it. It's interesting.
Yeah.
The wyvern stuff. This is what Fourth Wing wishes it was.
I 100% was thinking the whole time of like, even down to like when they send like the war games. I was like, this was published in what?
2014 or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
Way before Fourth
It's
Wing.
hard not to feel a little bit like Fourth Wing was pretty much ripped.
Absolutely, definitely. I mean, she has the like emotionless stuff. Like they're all supposed to be emotionless and not friends.
The matron is her grandmother.
Grandmother, yeah. I mean, she literally ripped it off this book.
And the two wyverns that she wanted. She wanted the biggest one and the little one.
Yep.
Which
exactly.
Fourth Wing the little one didn't kill the big one. That would be wild.
That would be wild. But yeah, it's like of course you knew that the one that was like the test, the bait.
I didn't.
Wyvern.
I thought she was, I was like tracking, like I'm starting to get the subtle hints that we might flip Manon by the end.
Oh yeah, she's gonna end up.
She might end up
She's gonna
good.
be on the good side, but she's gonna be
or she's gonna do one good thing.
Okay.
Like her last thing is gonna be like a Darth Vader.
Yeah.
Bad whole time.
Yeah,
one
yeah.
redemptive.
She's kind of an anti-hero.
Very much so.
Yeah.
But not anti-hero in the sense of like we're watching her tragic fall.
Yeah.
You know, like Walter White to me is the epitome of an anti-hero, right? Because we're watching him slowly. I mean, that show was pitched as Mr. Chips becomes Tony Montana from Scarface.
Yeah, pretty much.
But I do think she's going to end up redemptive, one, because she chooses the weak. And they her and the wyvern start having like, that was weird.
Yeah.
When they were like, the wyvern wanted to sniff the flowers. He gave her a look like, absolutely I do. I was like,
yeah,
we've been so dark and awful, and now we have this little moment of lightness. And I'm like, I guess she's going to be redeemed. It's kind of weird.
So. I think we're in her head. I think she's going to be some sort of.
But it's good.
Yeah, no,
I like the two mountains. I like the flying wyverns.
Because, like, honestly, to be honest with you, I couldn't be less interested in the two other plots that are happening.
Yeah.
The Celaena stuff, it's so boring.
Yeah.
Her and
at
Gwendolyn.
least towards the end, it got a little better.
Yeah.
It was a complete reset, which bothered me because book 2 was also a complete reset. So
we're resetting again.
I was willing to kind of give grace to the first part of 2 because I was like, she had one book in her mind, maybe, and didn't know what she was, and so she needed to kind of set up a 7-book series.
Yeah.
But then she did it again, and I was bored.
Yeah.
Dorian and Sorsha.
Yeah, there's
no interest.
Romance, or she apparently was around in the last book, and it's like, okay, I know that you just kind of conjured this character. You know how, like, did you ever watch The Sopranos?
No.
Okay, well, in Sopranos, you'll have like a character that pops up that's like all of a sudden the main character. It's like, I've been here the whole time. Like, I'm in the back.
I was
like,
in the diner drinking coffee in that scene.
I was always in the Bing, I was in the back, Hey, what you gonna do? I got promoted to capo.
I finally got out of the joint.
Yeah, that's right. That would happen. It was like, Tony's cousin's been in the joint.
It's always a cousin.
It's always a cousin. And he's been in there for like 15 years and he's back. And he's like,
but it's also a
huge
bigger
player.
name actor, so you're like...
Yeah, Steve Buscemi. That's a good... So Tony B, he comes out of prison and he's Tony's cousin. He went... a long story. He went to prison kind of because of Tony. Tony's not a good guy. He's worse than Walter White, in my opinion.
I think...
Tony's
I don't know anything.
Great show. It's the best show of all time. Sopranos.
Was he one of the first anti-heroes to really kind of make it big?
Yeah.
Because I feel like when it really hit was like Breaking Bad.
Yeah, that's when it was like mainstream.
We're in the era.
Yeah, but like Sopranos
is like early 2000s.
Yeah, it's the first season was 99, and it honestly is such. I mean, you're pulling for this mob boss to not get caught.
He's in
by
counseling,
the FBI.
right? The first scene is him visiting a psychiatrist.
Yeah, that's the whole. That was
And
like
that's
the
how they
premise
humanize him?
kind of the show. Was like, what would happen if a mob boss went and got counseling? You ought to watch it. I think that you'd love it. Don't want the kids to watch it. Walk in while you're watching that one.
Well, they say bad words in it.
Did say bad words? There's lots. It's HBO.
I'd never said a bad word.
You never have. Yeah, I've never heard it.
No. No. My favorite scene in the book. Coming back to Heir of Fire, my favorite scene in the book was the wyvern.
Yeah.
When I was stressed out by the system. I was like, this is no way to pick wyverns because, like, what if?
Yeah.
It's almost like the NFL draft of like, oh, what if you take that quarterback too high? He would have fallen you in later rounds.
Yes, exactly.
I did not like that, but I had no clue it was going to happen when the other two family heirs they walk up behind her, and I'm like, what is happening?
Yeah.
And then when the shove happened, I was like, oh,
yeah,
okay, here we go.
All the way down.
And I did not see the twist of the bait beast.
Yeah.
I thought we were just going to see how cruel they were, but I was like, this is good.
Yeah.
And they have like that connection.
It was interesting.
I was kind of like, I had to adjust a little bit because I was like, well, why doesn't the wyvern just speak in her head? That's a wrong book series.
Wing. Yeah.
Yeah. But
yeah,
I really like the Abraxos stuff. Him sniffing flowers was kind of weird, but that's why I think we're supposed to kind of like them.
Yeah, because Abraxos, I think, is supposed to be like a good-hearted wyvern, I guess. And why would he choose her if she didn't have a little bit of good?
Smelly dead. That is also interesting.
Yeah.
When she like got a taste of that dude's blood, and she's like, "Oh, what was that?"
Yeah, maybe she's turning good.
That was good.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's also implying that there's something nasty magic stuff going on.
Yes.
And she's like, figure that out later. And even
yeah, I'm interested in all that stuff.
Yeah.
And it's going to tie in, I assume, to
oh yeah, for sure,
all the regular storyline.
Yeah.
So yes.
What do you think about Rowan? Who might be Rowan Whitethorn, or ChatGPT might have made that up.
ChatGPT might have made that up because I never. But also, there's lots of things that like are in the dust jacket that you never hear from again. In these
I
books.
had a paperback copy.
Oh, I also did. I was just saying that.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I ruined that bit. I want to go back and do it again.
Huh? Yeah.
My disc jacket just had positive reviews.
Oh, mine had actually didn't say anything.
Which cover did you have? Because I've seen
the
two.
newer one.
Yeah, I had the same one.
Had like a
it looked good.
Something in flight. Yeah,
I like it better than the
covers. Oh yeah, with the
blue skin, dark elf looking.
Yeah, which I guess is Celaena.
Celaena.
Yeah,
who she's still that in my head. She looks like that, and I know that.
Here's something about
she has like translucent pale skin, but in my mind it's blue and white hair because of the cover of the first one.
Yes, and I'm assuming that is like maybe what the there it is.
We got the TikTok camera.
There
you go. That's what I see when I see Celaena.
Yeah. I'm with you there. And that's the thing is like, how are we supposed to picture the Fae? Because they're like humanoid. There's the Heir of Fire.
There's the cover. Think about putting these on YouTube.
Yeah.
Because we're recording it both.
Yeah,
might as well smash them up.
Might as well.
Hey, YouTube audience, what's up? Smash the like and subscribe.
Smash that like and subscribe button.
But this is the cover I'm talking about. You were saying, what are the face supposed to look like?
What are the face supposed to look like? Because they're supposed to be like humanoid, but they're tall. I don't know.
In my head, Rowan looks like an anime character, like somebody from. I heard his hair was silver, so I just saw like a Final Fantasy. Anime character, and I can't get that image out of my head.
I'm picturing, kind of that as well, but like, in like I don't know, like a loincloth, I guess, because he's
You've
like
got
talks about the
loincloth.
tattoos.
It's very primal.
Yeah, I picture him as like a jungle, like Tarzan type.
Oh!
You can't cut
Good
that
Gandalf,
out.
bad
Do
Tarzan.
not cut that out. You have to keep that Tarzan. Yeah, but okay, and also like the Fae are kind of like animorphs, I guess. They can be animals, and her animorph form is a human. What?
It's either interestingly creative or it's lame.
No, it's
nothing in between.
What it is retrofitting because she had to have
You don't
some
think
sort of
that was
reason
in-
why she could be a Fae and be a human.
Okay.
So it's just like, oh, hers is just she kind of becomes a human. So when she changes into an animorph, into a Fae, I don't really know what to picture. Just her bigger and silvery.
I see the skin bluer, and she's like radiating sparkles.
Oh, okay.
So actually, that was one of my notes. I do want to come back to things we like.
Oh,
But,
yeah, sorry. I delved off into things.
well, I want to keep going here because one of the things I wrote down was he bit her. He bit her, and I was like,
oh, yeah.
this is Twilight.
Oh,
Literally,
yeah,
he just bit her with his canine teeth. And so, like, I guess I thought
and that turned her into
he's
Fae.
sparkling. And I was like, is this supposed to, like, it just felt like,
Yeah.
I haven't read Twilight, but I was like, is this like some sort of like pseudo vampire thing? Is it a Twilight crossover?
I don't know. I think he just did that to freak her out, and it turned it into a Fae.
Yeah, I didn't love
really
it.
land.
I also liked the storytelling thing. The story keeper, where she like listens to the stories.
Yeah.
I enjoyed that. That was the part of the Celaena storyline I enjoyed the most.
When she was hanging with her kitchen friends?
Her kitchen friends.
Yeah, they were all great.
They've got like a token gay couple.
Uh-huh.
And she is sitting around listening to stories. And I like that Rowan comes down and listens in the form of
in
a
his hawk form. Yeah.
I enjoyed that. That
Tobias
was
from
the story
Animorphs.
keeper. And it was a way better way of getting lore
Yes.
into the story because her lore is interesting.
Yeah, I think so.
I think it's like really derivative in a lot of places.
Yeah.
But in fairness, everything's derivative from Tolkien. It's just how much can you hide that?
Yeah, that's true.
But I enjoyed kind of the lore building. I enjoyed the monster we met at the end.
Yes, the like
that was
skin color
tied
thing.
to the lore. And he's
Yeah.
like, "Oh, I know a story about that one." I enjoyed that.
Yep.
Um,
That was the most interesting thing of the Celaena thing was when the skinwalker thing, because it was creepy.
we're talking about the skinwalker. I'm talking about the monster at the end of the lake, but the skinwalker was
Oh,
terrifying.
yes, the lake thing. Yes, the lake with the big eye there. Yeah.
Have you noticed this though? Okay, so she's like, it's teen, but she gets real dark, like and violent.
Yeah.
Like the wyvern like bites a dude's body at one point. It's like
She does.
0 to like 100, and then there's like these skinwalkers, which is like a bunch of Buffalo Bills from Silence of the Lambs, but it's like their whole thing, and she can smell them, and like I'm like, this is incredibly dark.
Yeah, and she like
and they're terrifying.
Yeah. Like she falls asleep and then she realizes like, oh no, the fire's on.
Yeah.
She runs away and then she sees them like I picture them as like really silent, spindly, like pale, and just like kind of peeking in and stuff. I was like, that's creepy.
Yeah, and I
like that stuff.
She had a nice set piece with it where she jumps off the cliff, and I think she has like surprise.
And then she uses her rare power that hasn't been seen in a century to incinerate them.
Incinerate them.
She goes, Avada Kedavra! And then they. We gotta work a Voldy in there somewhere.
We haven't made a below deck reference yet.
Well, there's a new season, Below Deck Down Under. They're in the Seychelles.
Oh,
Captain Jason.
Is he Australian?
He's Australian.
Like, we go to the Seychelles. We're down under.
He's the heartthrob captain.
He sounds like Bluey.
He does. He kind of like it's a desert out there.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're in the Seychelles off the coast of Africa, like in the Indian Ocean.
I'm very aware of the Seychelles.
Yeah. Captain Jason. He's
Not that
kind of
I've been there.
Well,
I need to make
but
that
you know
clear.
about it. Yeah, you know that.
But I when I say very aware of the Seychelles, it makes it seem like,
You
oh
know
yeah,
that
I
it
go
exists.
twice a year.
Yeah,
I have a timeshare down there. You know?
It's a Disney timeshare.
It was Seychelles or Dollywood season pass this year. We went with the Seychelles. So
We're just Indian Ocean people.
I just wasn't excited about that Black Bear roller coaster they had up there at
and
Dollywood.
and you know they raised the prices on that park, and so I said,
and they stopped doing the popcorn bucket. And I said, we're going to buy cinnamon bread and a popcorn bucket, so I might as well spend that money. Fly me on down to the Seychelles.
yes, and I fly Southwest down there. They've got a direct flight from Big E Tyson
That's right. And
to the Seychelles.
I like Southwest because they got the good ginger ale. They don't do any of that Canada dry stuff. They have the Schweppes.
Yes.
I like a little bit of Schweppes and a little bit of Crown on my way to the Seychelles. And then down there, I'm probably going to do one of those little back rubs. They put the rocks on your back.
Yes.
You know, and I've kind of got that thing in my back that makes my back humped because I work at Comcast all those years.
I've seen it. And me and the wife will sit down there on the beach in the Seychelles and we'll watch the Lady Vols play. Kim Caldwell has got those girls playing so good. I tell you. You know what
I was
like?
waiting to see how far I could go. What did you like from Heir of Fire? Go on.
You know what I liked about it is how she explained away where their clothes go when they change.
Well, because like it's if that's a wink. That's funny.
I think it kind of is.
Fantasy never addresses it.
No, it's
you know?
like, where their
I was
clothes
like,
go.
That's pretty funny.
His clothes are back, and she's like, "Where?" I don't
or
know.
if somebody does
somewhere.
it poorly,
yeah,
like it's like the Rapture and Left Behind. Their clothes are just on the ground. And there's like a hawk just flying nearby. Yeah, he's like, "Oh, I gotta come back naked, I guess."
Yeah. Yeah, it like makes it kind of inconvenient because like every time it's like, you know, every time the Hulk becomes the Hulk, he's like naked somewhere. It's kind of inconvenient. It's like, we got to find Banner's clothes again because he hulked out, and now
I literally thought about that with the Avengers movie. I was like, he just happens to wear the shorts that
the stretchy
the
shorts.
calf muscles destroy it.
I mean, yeah,
But the upper thighs and the crotch
still
area
there.
become a perfect
How
jort.
terrifying would that be if
Purple
he's wearing
pants.
the wrong pants and
Just
then you just
naked
have
Hulk.
naked Hulk running around?
Okay, so what did you not like this time around?
Okay,
Do you want to give us Texas notes?
yeah, let me get you some Texas notes.
I don't know what sound this is going to be, but I just played it.
Texas notes. Okay. My first thought was the map at the beginning of the book. Gwendolyn, I guess, is on another continent.
What the heck? That bothered me so much.
I looked, Sam.
I want to know where I am.
I looked for 20 minutes to try and find, because it's also kind of hard to read the damn map.
Yeah, it's true.
And I could not find it.
When they did the magic triangle, like where magic got knocked out, I was like, where the heck are the frozen frost weirds?
You're going to have to give me more of... Give me another map.
I missed the old map. The map in the old book was better.
Yeah, see, I hadn't even seen that one because...
It was less detailed, but more readable.
Yeah, readable is what we want. And we want to know where Wendland is and what it looks like. Is it supposed to be a mystery?
Wendland is to the
Okay,
east
that was my
across
first...
the
That was
ocean.
that was my first beef. Okay, I said I had the Animorph comment, and then... okay, here was one thing. How does she already know so much about the Fae? I thought Queen Maeve was like the dead queen, but that's Celaena.
Yes.
Shows that I really have gained no knowledge about this world.
Celaena is the dead queen, but also her mother, Annalyn, is also a dead queen. A lot of dead queens.
She's the dead queen mom.
Yes.
Elena's the ancient dead queen.
I legitimately had to look up a family tree today because I was very lost. I know that there was like 2 Fae, and one of them, Baron and Luthien'd out of immortality.
Yes.
And had kids, and Elena's descended from one, and Rowan's descended from others. And they're kind of doing like a enemies to lovers with her and Rowan, but they're also like sixth cousins or less.
It's weird. It's
second
weird.
cousins.
Yeah, they definitely are setting that up, and I don't like it.
Ashriver.
Yeah, I don't like it. But I also don't like her with Chaol. So, kind of hoping she may be.
I made a note. Oh, good. Chaol is still an empty, obsessed shell boy. Like whatever chapter we met him, I was like,
we have kids. Like the
but it's just like every thought out of Chaol's mouth is like, he went down to see his guards, and he saw that door that reminded him of her.
And then there was
the perfect girl, Aelin. If anybody knew her secret, if anybody knew how amazing she was, and he lost her, he had to protect Dorian.
Enemy, lover, queen. I wrote that down because I threw up in my mouth when I read it.
That's in there?
That's in a Chaol
I guess
chapter.
I pushed that.
Enemy, lover, queen.
These romanticy books, they love their
periods.
Bah.
Yeah.
Period. Bah.
It's like clap
Period.
talking.
Bah. So freaking beautiful.
I love Chipotle.
He had scars on his back. Which we got one of those too.
Hot.
So hot. There's less of that. I will say.
Oh yeah. Well, this isn't Yaros.
It's not first person either.
Yeah. Oh
Like,
yeah.
we're not in.
Well, I'm fine with that. Yeah.
I mean, I feel like we were in Celaena's head. Sometimes we are confusingly in her head.
we
though.
jump around. In regards to her cousin, another cousin that shows up to the courts.
That made her feel
Aedion.
like she just like felt like the same level of guilt and shame that she did with Nehemia. Do you remember that part?
Yeah.
She was just like, I'm drunk on a rooftop in Windland eating stale bread.
And just
Look at that Fae, man.
yes.
And then she's like,
Yeah.
despondent.
Yeah. It was very weird.
My one note about that first scene, I was like,
Okay.
the only thing she's missing is like the beard. You know, like the scene where it's like the beginning
yeah.
of the next season of the show.
Oh yeah.
And the
like,
main character's like bottomed out and he's got a beard and he's drunk at a
yeah.
bar in Tulsa.
I'm thinking, yes, I'm thinking of the show Entourage. One of the main
Never seen
characters, he like has a beard and he's like on an island somewhere. He's like the actor. He's the main guy of the Entourage is around.
All these HBO shows.
Yeah,
I'm a
an
Great
HBO
British
guy.
Bake Off guy. If you make that kind of reference, I can jive with you, but
I've been more of a CW guy for most of my life. Just kidding.
I've seen every episode of Arrow.
Have you really?
No,
I
I
was
saw the
hoping-
first season.
that was
You have failed this city, but connected. That's who I see as Chaol in my mind.
Oh, okay. The Arrow
The guy, Arrow guy. I can't
see.
remember his name.
I wouldn't know because I'm not a CW guy. My mom used to work for CW Knoxville.
No way.
I don't remember what she did. But
Was that
she
where
did-
Jefferson Pilot Games would be? Was that same channel?
I think so.
CW's, maybe CW's 4.
Dave Neal
JP
and
was
Bob
on
Kessling
5.
back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
So good. Okay, I said she summoned flames, a rare power not seen in forever. Because of course, this is that kind of book, and it's got to be a rare power that nobody's ever seen in centuries.
That is standard. I mean, it's like
it's,
that is one of the tropes you have to have.
yes,
These like have their own, in rom-coms, you've got to have like the meet cute.
yeah,
In these
and,
romanticy, they've got to have a rare power it's never seen. And in Fourth Wing, she just gave every character
the
ever,
rare power.
except for the one person who was like good at organizing library books.
Yes. The one person who was able to find the pairs of socks in the wash every time. That one's pretty standard.
yeah. Every generation has their sock finder.
Yeah. Oh,
So-
for sure. Yeah, you gotta have the one.
That's right.
I had one comment. I think I got kind of despondent at one point and just was in my feels because I said, I gotta say, I truly don't see what people love about these romantasy books. They seem like they should appeal to nobody, but they are popular.
They're beyond popular.
They're so
She
popular.
is laughing at us.
Yes, she is. But
Because she's sitting on a mountain of money.
Yes, but they feel like they're written for nobody because I know I know women and they never strike me as loving fantasy. Like
I think that's what's amazing about these books is like they've brought fantasy into the.
yeah,
Maybe I don't know if they brought it. They kind of capitalized on a trend. Maybe Lord of the Rings probably broke down the wall, but. But here's the thing: I think a lot of people that read these books wouldn't say they're Lord of the Rings fans. They might try it now.
No, I
But
think
for a lot of people, these books were their intro to fantasy, and they're
that's
in.
true. So far be it from me. I just kind of I was like kind of bored at one point, and I was just.
It was slow. I found myself. I think one of my frustrations, kind of on that note, was that the drama's high school level.
Yeah.
It was the same with Fourth Wing, and I know like, oh, they're young. It's like, yeah, but it's really weird juxtaposition to have these characters who are dealing with like world devastating level drama,
Yeah.
right? Like Lord of the Rings, the world is being taken over by an evil lord.
king. Yeah.
All this suffering, awful things happening to them. Yet they're also like, at one point, Chaol has to go stop all these parties from happening.
Yeah.
Like, he's like, I've got to stop these parties.
And why is he not at
Aedion
the
is
parties?
Aedion
What's
is
the
throwing
mystery?
these parties, and the way they like Rowan and Celaena in like their big dramatic connecting scene,
Yeah.
which I'm glad that happened for both of them because
Yeah.
they clearly
I
got
was
some
getting so
pain.
tired of the.
But the conversation he has with her is like, it just feels Degrassi because she like has this big acting out moment where her stuff with Nehemia comes up and he walks up and he goes, do you want to talk about it? Like it just feels like it's like emotionally mature on the level of high school while dealing with real world problems. It'd be like reading a novel set in like France in 1940.
Yeah.
And the people are arguing about who they're going to prom with.
Yes.
While also dealing with the fall of Paris.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like that's the thing that frustrates me.
Yeah, no, yeah.
And
totally
I think sometimes the appeal is to like for people to see themselves in Celaena because my issue with her is she's like fake flawed.
Yep.
Does that make sense?
Yes,
like she's given flaws.
Yeah, but not really.
But it's not. It's like
oh,
she loves her friends too much.
Yeah.
Even when she like rips Imris's head off for nothing.
Yeah.
Not literally rips head off because these books are violent.
Yeah.
But he like, look at my new dagger, isn't it cool? And she like destroys him.
Yeah.
To the point where his family members are growling at her.
Yeah.
And
Sam, I'm gonna tell you something. I don't remember that at all.
It's like one of the last scenes, like where he's like, look at my new dagger, and it reminds her it's from Elwy.
You could tell me anything.
He shows her a new dagger he's found from Elwy, and it reminds her of Nehemia. And she just flips a lid. It just blows up and screams. I was like, I don't care about you. It was right after she saw Rowan tattooing that guy.
Okay.
And he said basically the same thing.
I'm there now.
But after it, like she's just stripped this very nice man down to the studs.
Yeah.
And he's like, Rowan comes in, and the man that just got screamed at by her is like, you don't understand her. You don't know the darkness she's been.
She's seen so much.
It's just like,
which I guess we'd know if we read The Assassin's Blade.
It's one of those, yeah, that's true. But it's one of the situations where it's like I kind of balk a little bit at characters who identify with Celaena too much.
Yeah.
Because it's what I kind of felt like it was is like, this isn't so much, there's two types of wish fulfillment in my mind when it comes to books.
Yes.
There's wish fulfillment that's like a deep yearning in me. This book hits that.
Mm-hmm.
Like Harry Potter, people call wish fulfillment with like, oh, he's the magical prophesied boy. It's great. But also Harry's deepest yearnings for a family.
Yeah.
And so it hits that wish fulfillment of, I want friends who feel like family.
Yeah.
I long for that. That's good wish fulfillment. And then there's like, I called it want fulfillment.
Yeah.
Where it's like, I want to be the misunderstood queen with amazing powers that never does anything wrong and is always perfect.
And who every male I encounter will fall for me, and I'll just have to choose one.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's why I liked Man and Buck. I want to call her Buckbeak.
Man and Buckbeak.
Man and Buckbeak.
Wait, is that not it? Blackbeak.
It's Blackbeak. Buckbeak is
Buckbeak.
Buckbeak is
the hippogriff. That's Harry's hippogriff.
Oh, Buckbeak, you're a wizard, Harry. You know. But she's more kind of, in a strange way, more relatable because she's so unrelatable. Does that make sense?
No, yeah, I totally get it.
I think there's kind of Celaena is just this.
We've said it before. She's Mary Sue.
Yeah,
she's good at it.
But she's like an emotional Mary Sue too, and
well, that's the thing. Mary Sues are like, the problems they're given are like, she loves her friends too much. She's too good at everything. She's literally too good. In the first book, she has to act like she's not as good as she is.
And everyone's obsessed with her.
Yeah.
That's the thing I think that bothers me the most is like every single character is obsessed with Celaena. Yeah. Aedion has like this crazy fixation. He's like, goes into her apartment. He's like, she bought that chair.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. And then Chaol obviously can't stop thinking about her. Dorian's the only one that stops thinking about her for a second.
Yeah, and it makes him
he gets the
more
hots for, and it was more those things were something I was interested.
Yeah,
because everyone is obsessed with Celaena, and I'm like, I don't know what itch this is scratching, but I don't like it because no one wants to be Frodo. No one wants to be Adam Trask.
No one wants to be like Aragorn. Really?
If it's Viggo Mortensen, I want to be Aragorn.
But I mean, yes. Okay.
The way he opens 2 doors at a time.
He just flings those doors open after the horse awakens him.
Ride out with
I mean, honestly, who would want to be Harry?
Dawn, the 3rd day, look to the east. Sorry.
When he comes riding down from the east.
Right. I wouldn't want to be Harry.
I wouldn't want to be Harry. He's orphaned. His parents were murdered when he was a baby, and he was
an
there.
Evil Lord has like enshrined part of himself in him.
Yeah. And he's like always Harry, when he does have family and he makes his friends his family, but he feels like an outsider. Mm-hmm. He finally finds family and then loses it.
Yeah. And
It's
loses a lot of them.
Yeah, like to compare somebody like a character like Harry Potter and Celaena, it's like nowhere even anywhere close to that. Because,
Which is fair, because I do think you have to compare every character after Harry Potter to Harry in some way.
yeah,
But that brought me to the thing I probably enjoyed most about these chapters is the end of it, when I do like that magic is tied to emotions. It's a little cliche, but I'm fine with it.
yeah,
Because by the end, when she has to say the things she's thinking, or like the deep wound, she like finally voices it.
yeah,
And that's when the healing starts to begin.
yeah.
That, and then she's suddenly able to channel her magic, which I had seriously. Rowan seems all put together, but he's like, "Oh, there's just a bunch of blades and crumpled armor lying around this cave. It's probably fine." That bothered me.
Go walk on the ice. It's totally okay.
He has known everything from here before, but he's like, "I can hide this citizen in the cave.
And then the citizen's like,
Nothing wrong here.
The best thing is the citizen's like, I was told it was for training.
I was told there were snacks."
Seems like it's totally fine.
I hated that. But when they finally start to connect, it's a trauma bond. But the trauma bond gets knocked as a cliche because there is something to connecting through pain.
Yeah.
I think for me, the gear shift from they deal with very immature problems, like when she goes to the town and she charms the hell out of the town by shopping there. Compare that to like, that's part of their arc, which annoyed me.
Yeah.
But also their arc ends with like him talking about how he lost his wife and child. Like
Yeah.
you just see, like, I'm like, he would be more mature than this.
Yeah. Well, he's like immortal too.
Right. And they both, because of the dark stuff they deal with, should be more mature than kind of the high school stuff they deal with.
Yeah.
And my hope is that as the series goes on, that gets better. Because it has gotten better from book one.
You can definitely tell that she's not a teenager as she writes this.
Right. It started there, and maybe this is the long transition she
Yeah.
had to do. Because the first book she wrote when she was 17.
Well, that was what we were told when we took this series on, was that it was going to start out as a small story and then it's going to sprawl. And you do start to see that happen, especially with the witches.
My phone died.
Oh.
Hopefully it saved that video file.
Yeah, it's you see the witches is like the beginning of the bigger
More witches!
more witches. Oh, what more?
You know what I'm talking about with in Monty Python, the Holy Grail, when he's like, and what was the same as witches? More witches! Sorry, go on.
I have never, you know what? I've never seen Monty Python and the
man.
Holy Grail.
We'll have a movie night. We'll watch it.
Yeah, well, we're actually going to stop the podcast and watch it right now.
Yeah, sounds great.
Cool. We're queuing it up on the DVD player.
What about you? Did anything resonate with you, or just like mine was kind of I loved this, but I was frustrated by it.
Yeah, that was mine. Was that I do see the seeds of this becoming a larger story with the witches, and that was what was promised to us.
Yeah.
And so I see that. I mean, the things that interest me in books like this is why Game of Thrones is so interesting, is because there's so many storylines.
Yeah.
And you have your Jon Snow in the north, you have like the Lannisters in the south, King's Landing, and that kind of stuff. There's so many storylines, but they're all interesting. They all kind of start at one place and they fan out.
Yeah.
And that's what she's kind of getting at with this, like with bringing in essentially a whole new point of view character in Manon, and I like that.
I hope we phase out Chaol, honestly, because
Maybe she's getting bored with Chaol and is going to find some way to kill him
he
off.
was her first love, and he's gone.
Yeah, he's just gone.
Well,
So, I like that.
we're here at 45 minutes, so I'm gonna start wrapping us up. But we'll check in on our fantasy things in the next episode.
Yeah,
A little recap.
we'll score our points.
But any final thoughts as we journey on to chapter 36?
Final thoughts. Well, I'm interested to see. Well, of course, she's gonna fall in love with her cousin.
Yeah,
And that's gonna be
it's an enemies to lovers.
and it's gonna be a main focus of the last half of the book.
I actually wonder if it's not,
Okay.
because it's been so slow now.
Yeah.
They haven't even had a moment of romance.
Yeah.
I wonder if she's playing the long game here.
Maybe.
Of like this book might end with like a hand touch that's like,
Yeah.
and she suddenly sees him as
Well, the last
attractive.
book, remember, after Nehemia dies, and then
who apparently orchestrated her whole death.
yeah.
I don't remember that from
I
book
don't
two.
either. The Nehemia stuff always falls flat for me because I didn't think she was a good character at all.
Well, and she
Why
also
is
wasn't
she
around. And she's like, I understand about you losing your wife and unborn son. I lost a friend I knew for a year and who didn't show up much in the second book.
Yeah,
like,
who was just kind of there. And they're treating her like she's Obi-Wan Kenobi when he dies on the Death Star. It's like, that's the same weight that Nehemia is given.
Exactly.
It's like, she I don't even know what she did.
Yeah.
Who was she the princess of even? Ilwi? Don't know where that is.
Elwee.
Because I can't find it on the map.
Elwee.
Okay, well, I think it's gonna. Yeah, you're probably right. It's gonna. The action's gonna pick up because it definitely did last book. That's
It
where
did.
It all started.
That's why I'm still here. Because
Yeah.
last time, book 2, I was like, ugh. And the second half, I was like, I'm in.
If this is how every book's gonna be, though, I'm gonna kind of get annoyed.
Well, that's my same take with Way of Kings. Very different context here.
Oh yeah.
But I was like, if every book's going to be 900 pages of setup before it gets fun, I don't know if I can do that. So I will give Sarah J. Maas credit for that.
Yeah.
This book is way shorter.
It's way shorter than Way of Kings for sure.
All right. Well, Tex, that's all for this time. If you're reading along with us, chapters 36 through the end.
We're gonna finish this one.
That's right. If you end up on the couch on a Saturday and you're like, oh, I better stop because they haven't talked about this. No, you can finish this thing to the end.
You can. You could do it.
You could do it. And we will see you next time.
We'll see you next week.
Couple guys reading.
Do, do, little.